Dan Perry here with another Dan on Tech Python video. As we continue looking at functions, now we're going to look at not only passing parameters still to a function, but returning a value. And I want to go back and look at passing an integer to a function and then returning whether or not the integer's odd or even. So we're going to return a string. We're going to create a function and I'm going to call it odd even. And we're going to pass it an integer, call it num. And when we pass it that integer value, what we're going to do is check it and see if it's odd or even. So I'm going to have an if statement. I'm going to say if num is, if num mod 2 equals 0. So if it, when we divide it by 2, we come up with 0, then we're going to return the string even. Otherwise, we're going to return the string odd. In the earlier examples, we've had return with nothing else, so we've actually returned none because we've not done anything with that. So now in our program, what we're going to do is we're going to call the function, store the results into a variable, take that variable and print it. And I'm going to call that RET, just for something, we can call it anything we want, is going to be equal to odd underscore even. And we'll just pass it this time, say a 3. And then I'm going to print the number. We'll use 3 here. We'll change that in a minute. Is, and we'll print return, the string return, see what we get. And it says the number 3 is odd. If I change that to say a 2, or let's make it a 4, change 4 here and run, it's even. So it seems to be working. Let's go ahead and modify it a little bit more. Let's create a for loop, and I'll say for x in range. We'll just do 5, so it's not a big range. And we're going to call odd and even each time we go through with and pass it x. And we'll change this to print the value of x. So now when we run it, the main program's going to go through the loop 5 times, and it's going to pass 0 through 5. This for loop is going to go through 5 times, and each time it goes through the for loop, it's going to call the function, and it's going to return whether that's odd or even. It's going to pass it 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then print the results in the for loop. So let's run it this time and see what we get. And as we go through, we see the number 0 is even, 1 is odd, 2 even, and so on. Calling that function, in this case we're returning a value, we're using the return function or return command twice. Once if it's true here, or if we are in the true condition of the if, when it's even, and 1 when it's odd. You won't always have the return coming in more than once in your function, but you should always have a return even if you're returning none. The last thing we would want to do to fix this function or finish this function is we would want to put our comments in. And again, PyCharm would fill in all that. I'm not going to fill in everything here, but we would want to have a complete set of comments so that someone using this program at a later date would know exactly what this function was going to do. Thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos. Please check out and subscribe to our other Dan on Tech channel playlists.